Hello all, I'm Sindhusi. In this video lecture, I'll be discussing about how to analyze an algorithm with step count and operation count. Iterative algorithms. So how do we analyze these iterative algorithms? We have to consider two parameters. The first one is the input size. The second one is the running time. Input can be in the form of integers, matrices, arrays, and graphs. So considering these two parameters only, we can go in for iterative algorithm analysis. Now, generally, when it comes to algorithm analysis, we have five methods how to analyze them. So the first one is step count. Then we have the operations count, asymptotic analysis, recurrence relations, and amortized analysis. So step count is one of the methods to analyze an algorithm. So that is one way of measuring the efficiency of an algorithm. So now how does this step count work? So we have to take two things into consideration. First is the frequency of these statements. That is a statement, how many times it is occurring. The second one is the number of steps per execution. So these two parameters we have to consider. So step count is the number of instructions or steps that are used by a given algorithm to perform the given task. So we have the formula in the last line. Total step count is equal to frequency of occurrence into number of steps per execution. So here we have the various statements and what step count can be given to that particular statement. So if there is a declarative statement without any initialization, then the count that is to be given is 0. If there is a declaration statement with initialization, then the count to be given is 1. If there is an expression statement, then the count to be given is 1. Similarly, if there is an assignment statement or if there is a function call, if there is a return statement, a break statement, continue statement, go to statement, if any of these occur in a statement, then the count to be assigned is 1. Here we have an example. So this example is a very simple example. So here it starts with begin. Then you have three expressions. A is equal to b plus 1, c is equal to a plus 2, d is equal to a plus b, and finally you have end. Now to the right hand side you have a table where we are plotting these statements, and for every statement we are going to write down these steps, and then we have to calculate how many times it is occurring, which is the frequency. And finally we are multiplying the steps and the frequency for calculating the total. So consider the first statement is the algorithm simple a comma b comma c, and it is a non-executable statement. So it is the step is 0 and the frequency of occurrence is not to be considered. Okay. And coming to the second statement, begin, again it is a non-executable statement, so don't worry about that. Coming to the third line, you have a is equal to b plus 1, which is a expression statement. So you have to give a step count of 1, and how many times it is occurring is 1. So frequency is 1, total is equal to 1 into 1 is 1. In the fourth statement, you have c is equal to a plus 2. It is again an expression statement. So the step count to be given is 1 and it is occurring 1 time. So frequency is 1 and 1 into 1 is 1. So you have total 1. The fifth statement is d is equal to a plus b. You have again that is an expression statement. So the step count is 1 and frequency of occurrence is 1. So 1 into 1 is 1. And finally you have the end statement. Again it is a non-executable statement. So the step count is 0. So when you add the total you get 3. Now the total execution, this t of n is 3, and this is called the constant time algorithm. Here you have the first, second and sixth statement. They are non-executable statements, as I've told you, and 3, 4, 5 is our major concern when it comes to step count. So 3, 4, 5, they are called executable statements. Here we have another example where we have two algorithms. We have to identify the time complexity. Now, this is a very simple algorithm. The first algorithm, consider it's a statement A is equal to 4n, and the second algorithm is B is equal to 2 into n power 2. Now, just give some values for n. So if n is equal to 1, A's value is 4 and B's value is 2. And if n is equal to 2, A's value is 8 and B's value is 8. If n is 3, A's value is 12 and B's value is 18. You can see that the value of B is exponentially increasing. So here we can easily identify that algorithm A is the best algorithm. Consider the second example where you have algorithm A is equal to, algorithm A is a statement which is A is equal to 3n, and algorithm B is equal to 2 power n. Now here we have to find out the best algorithm again. So just given some values for n, and here also you can see that in case of A, it's just a smaller increase wherein the B's value, given varying values of n, if the n value is increasing, and you can see that B's value is also exponentially increasing. So here also you can understand that algorithm A is the best. So here we have problem 3 where we have two statements. Okay, consider first statement as one algorithm and second statement as the second algorithm. So first algorithm is A is equal to 3n and second algorithm is B is equal to 10n square. Now here we have to consider a scenario where n is equal to 10 power 5 and that the system executes 10 power 9 instructions per second. So considering the first algorithm, we know that A is 3n. So 3n divided by the number of instructions per second, which is 3 divided by 10 power 9 into n's value is 10 power 5. So it is 0.0003 seconds. Now taking the second algorithm, which is 10n square. Again 10n square divided by number of instructions per second. So substituting the value of n, which is 10 power 5, you get 100 seconds. Here also you can see that A is the best algorithm. So these are small. When the algorithm is very small, you can easily identify. Here we have another problem. So from the symbol you can identify that it is the summation from 1 to n. Okay, so adding 1 to n numbers, okay, using step count, you have to compute and find the runtime. So this is the algorithm. Begin, you have sum is equal to 0.0 for I is equal to 1 to n. Do, sum is equal to sum plus 1, and then you are after the loop is over, end for and return sum. Here again, when it comes to step count, you can make a table like this. The number of steps, step number, the statement, the step count, frequency of occurrence, and total. The total will be calculated by multiplying step count and frequency. So again, the first statement is a non-executable statement. Second statement, begin, is again a non-executable statement. The third statement, sum is equal to 0.0, is an initialization statement. So step count is 1 and it is occurring one time. So 1 into 1 is 1. The fourth statement is a for loop. For I is equal to 1 to n, 2. So this statement will be this is a loop statement, right? So here again, the step count is going to be 1, and the frequency is, now you know that this is going to run for 1 to n times, and when nth condition is satisfied, it will again come another time to check the condition, and that time it is going to be false. So that is why we have the frequency here as n plus 1. So multiplying 1 into n plus 1, it's going to be n plus 1. And the next statement is sum is equal to sum plus 1. So step count is 1 because it is a normal expression, and this statement is going to be executed n times because it is inside for loop. So frequency is n. Now you multiply the step count and frequency, you get total n. And end for is a non-executable statement. So step count is 0. Return statement, as we already saw, its step count is to be 1, and frequency of occurrence is 1. So 1 into 1, 1. Finally end, it's a non-executable statement. So totally you have 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus 1, so which adds to 2n plus 3. Now you should consider this, make a note of this, that step count does not depend on the number of operands in a statement. So for example, a star 10 and a star 125 minus 190. So in the first case, you have only one operand. You have two operands. In the second statement, you have three operands. So whatever the situation is, both of them have the same step count. Operation count is another method to analyze algorithms. Here, the basic idea is to count the number of operations. Here, we are not bothered about steps anymore. So, these operations can either be basic or non-basic. As the term says, basic is also called as elementary operation. It can be a normal assignment statement or a comparison statement, or which involves some basic arithmetic operation or logical operation, and so on. And if there is a combination of some basic operations, then you call it non-basic operation or non-elementary operation. So how do you perform this operation count? So first you count the basic operations and express it as a formula, then simplify it. Finally, represent the time complexity as a function of operation count. Now we have three varieties to this. If it is a sequence statement, what do you do? If it is a selection statement, what do you do? And if it is a repetition statement, what do you do? So first is the sequence statement. So here you can see you have two statements, S1 and S2. Say for example, S1 has m number of operations and S2 has n number of operations. Then this algorithm requires m plus n operations because both of them are sequence. So here the addition principle is applied. So this is sequence. Second is selection. So here you have a if condition. So if the condition is satisfied, you select a particular statement. If it is not satisfied, you select some other statement. So if condition is true, then select statement P, else select statement Q. So this algorithm requires maximum of m or n, whichever is maximum. So that will be the number of operation count. And the third one is repetition. Repetition, as the name says, it is going to involve looping. So here the statement is loop m operations n number of times. So if this is the scenario, then this algorithm requires m into n number of operation counts. So here the multiplication principle will be applicable. So here we have a problem and we have to find the operation count. So here the algorithm starts with begin and ends with end. So you have three statements here. Temp is equal to A is equal to B, and B is equal to temp. So this is a normal swapping. So yeah, so you write all the three steps, so significant steps, and then write all the three statements. Now you identify. So the first statement, temp is equal to A, is a basic operation, which is an assignment operation. You are assigning value A to temp. So this is a basic assignment operation. So the cost involved in this operation can be some value. So consider it as C1. And here the sequence, this is a sequence operation. So it is 1. Then you multiply the cost and the value, so which is frequency of occurrence. So total is C1. In the second step, you have A is equal to B. This is again a basic assignment operation. So value B is assigned to A. Again, this is a different statement, so its cost might be different. So we take the cost as C2, some constant value, and again the frequency is 1. So multiply C2 and 1, you get C2. Then you, in the third step, you have B is equal to A. Again, this is a basic assignment operation. A's value is assigned to B. So for this operation, again, some cost would have occurred. So let that be C3, and it has occurred once. So C3 into 1, which is C3. Now here, the operation count is the total of all these three uh, operations, which is C1 plus C2 plus C3. Now we have another problem. So here you have a loop. So for I is equal to 1 to n, do sum is equal to sum plus I and n for. Now here again we plotted in the form of a table. We have these three significant steps. So the first statement is a for loop for I is equal to 1 to n, do. So here, as you know, you have assignment operation where initially you are assigning I is equal to 1, and you compare if the condition is satisfied or not. Each time you compare it. So you have the comparison operation. Then you also have increment operation. I is equal to I plus 1. So these three basic operations are involved, right? So the cost is for this operation to happen, there would have been some cost which would have been incurred. So let that be C1, some constant. And this repetition, it would have taken n plus 1 times, because this loop runs for n times, and there is one more time where it comes for condition checking. So n plus 1, that is the frequency of occurrence of that statement. So multiplying the cost and the frequency, you get C1 into n plus 1. Second statement is sum is equal to sum plus I. So this is a normal expression. Here you have the addition operation, and the cost would have some cost would have incurred, and so let that be C2. And how many times this statement would have occurred is, or you would have come across this statement is n times. Yes, so the frequency of occurrence is n. So multiplying the frequency and cost, you get n into C2. And N4 is a non-executable statement. So let's not worry about that. So now, what is the total? So you just have to add n plus 1 into C1 plus n into C2. And this is just normal expression evaluation, where first you have to multiply n plus 1 with C1. So you get C1n plus C1. And then you have the third component, which is C2n. Now you take C1 and C2 out, n out of C1 and C2, and then finally you have a constant C1. So which is nearly equal to some constant C into n. So here C is a machine dependent cost and n is the input size. So this is how you calculate the operation count. Thank you.